Alright, so this is a review of the Husky Metrix T-handle hex kit, or Allen keys as I call them. So I've been using these on all sorts of different operations. Obviously I use some more than others. I don't think I've used this in this one, but I've used the 6 and the 5 and the 4, and I've used the 3 and the 2 as well. They work well. The T-handle is great, much better than those little the little L-shaped ones, so I've got a set of those as well, little balls on them. But these are a pain, obviously, when you're just trying to spin up something and you want something easier to just work your way through the bolts and make it easier on you. This works much more like a screwdriver, where you can hang on to it and spin it through. It's worked fine. I haven't had any degradation of the tip, even though I've been, I've had to unlock a few pretty heavily set bolts. The handles are comfortable. There's a little bit of so this red is like a hard plastic which forms the majority of that handle. I'm sure underneath this it's got a metal backing as well. There's a couple of caps on the end of this which suggest that also. But then this grey is a rubber. Gives you grip in your hand, and also just makes it easier on your hand. The size is in here. There's a 5mm one, obviously 6. The set comes with a 10, an 8, a 6, a 5, 4, 3, and 2.5. And yeah, it works as advertised. The one thing I would say is on these, especially on the 5 and the 6. On the 6 and below, the 8 and the 10 are a bit, you can see they're a bit more squat. They're actually shorter. But these, because they're thin, I mean there's a 5mm hex, and they're quite long, you do, when you're working them, get a little bit of a spring, a bit of a twist in them, and you kind of feel that play back and forward. And that would be the only negative that I'd have to say about that. Everything else they've worked well and been very reliable, and obviously that doesn't really affect the working of it. It just makes me a little concerned that maybe over the very long term, you're going to eventually get a failure in that because of that flex. So that's that. I'll show you it working quickly. Here's my Job Max tool. I use this all the time, so I'm just easily able to undo that. And then here's the real advantage, is that I can loosen that off really easily, and that sort of thing's much harder to do with the L shape. You try to do the finger thing where you're winding your finger around and around and around, and the thing falls out and all that sort of stuff. So these sorts of uses are much simpler to do when you've got the T handle. And nice and tight, very easy to get it tight very quickly. You're not having to flip from one end to the other end like you do with the L's. And as well, just having a little bit more length than your typical L shape allows you to get a little bit further in, if you're working on an engine or on a something where your access is not that easy. So that's it. That's the Husky Metrix T-handle set. And that's my review. Thank you.